choice. You want Auntie's choice.
Time for a chat, Commander? Commander, you hear my interview over the wireless too? They've been playing it every hour. Part of it, anyway. Seems all the evidence we brought Thessaly made an impression. Other VPs are fearing for their jobs now. Can you imagine? Reckon nobody will touch Willard's work now. Definitely. I'd bet a post-mortem on Willard's activities is being drafted as we speak. Few are keen to repeat the same mistakes as someone trotted out as a cautionary tale. If I ain't said it recently, then let me say it again. Reckon I'll find a way to look after the other grafted soldiers out there. It's what Ortiz would have wanted, and what he deserved. But all that'll come after we save Arcadia. You know, it's hard to fathom that just months ago I spent so much law-damn time begging to be accepted, like I was worth only what other folk thought of me. I was so lost. I really believed when I ended my contract that a better life was possible. I know the truth about Auntie's choice now, and I know who I am. So yeah, a better life is possible, just not at someone else's mercy. I ain't gonna let myself or anyone else be led into the same trap they set for us, ever again. I will, Commander. Anyhow, that's enough sorting my thoughts for the moment. We got a galaxy to save.
Virgil's not about. He's like to be in the training grounds days. Take us lower, located behind the door next to those stairs.
Arbiter Nebs, the words are a song to my ears. This, no doubt, is the opportunity I have long awaited. These hapless recruits arrived just before the invasion. No sooner had they set down their bags than their instructors were called to the war front. I read the fear, the uncertainty in their faces. And I knew, as this group's primary practice target replacement technician, I alone could teach them. They see me as their leader, their arbiter. I will not fail. Should the invasion breach our defenses, I will stand proudly at the vanguard, shoot to kill, and lead them to victory.
Friendly face.
Virgil! Ah, thank the architect I found you intact. We visited the Supreme Arbiter's office in Central Control and found something impossible.
Impossible? Why is it impossible? So that you may claim ignorance as to the truth of what you've uncovered? Fine. If you're still so thick-skulled, Tristan, then I can see I've no choice but to confess. Hold. Do you hear movement?
Attention, Arbiter Virgil Montag. Under the jurisdiction of the Council, we stand to bring you low. Do not resist.
Damnation! I knew the Sentinels were looking for me, but I did not expect they would come to this place. We have no choice but to fight. I can operate our turrets from this location, but you must engage the Sentinels head-on to prevent our being overwhelmed. Go now!
Arbiter Montag, lay down your arms. Surrender and die. Those fools were but an expeditionary force. I've no doubt the bulk of their number remains on the surface. I shall take an alternate path to prepare a surprise for our would-be assailants. Then I shall flank them as you engage them.
Hold! You were beginning to say something before we were ambushed. I would care to hear it.
We cannot have this conversation until we are safe. Engage those on the surface and I shall join you. Go now.
Enough! Our being at odds with the Council is one thing, but that was a small army! What have you done?
You already know whether you're willing to admit it or not. Do you sincerely have a need for me to spell it out before you'll face the truth? Very well then. Tristan, you stand before the murderer of the Supreme Arbiter.
I don't believe this. The Council must have captured you and sent you to mental refreshment. It's the only...
Open your eyes, Rao. Those Sentinels were here with due cause. The elimination of a murderer. The Supreme Arbiter was planning to send a message in her final moments, pledging allegiance to the Consul. Who do you think bore witness to those final moments? I did what I thought was just.
No. You lied to me?
I had to. I knew that if you learned what had transpired, why I did what I did, it would destroy you.
Would it? Or were you just trying to save yourself from my wrath?
With the demands this war has made on us all, I've not seen our mentor for some time. My visit was meant to be a surprise. Unfortunately, it was. I overheard her decision to align herself with the Consul before she realized I was there. This admission, I had no choice but to act.
But there was a choice. Why didn't you come to me? Together we could have come up with something. Some other course of action.
Because I didn't want you to know. I never wanted you to learn the truth because I feared you'd lose your faith. No. Sentinel Peralt's remarks were the first I'd heard of any secret room. I feared what you might learn there, so I scrambled to find an agent who might locate the room before you. I only had one contact who I knew may be able to do the job. Unfortunately, it seems you found him before he could complete his task. Would that he had. I had no wish to cause his death through my impetuousness. That is news to me. A junior arbiter judging Tristan. I can't imagine you let that stand.
Killing one of Arcadia's future arbiters over a singular breach of rank would have been most tragic. But this is not the matter we're here to discuss.
How dare you! I would have rather done anything else. But the explicit reason that I had to act was out of my loyalty. The Supreme Arbiter did more than mentor us. She all but raised us as her own. There was not a step we took that she did not watch. A fact we know that she did not teach. And I killed her. As a traitor. Damn you. Damn you 1,000 times. How can I not bear remorse for the slaying of one I considered my own kin? No matter what I do, I find myself reliving that moment whenever I close my eyes. Her sin was unforgivable to the Protectorate, but No. The situation was a nightmare. Any action would have been the wrong one. I only wonder if the path I took was worth it.
I cannot believe what I am hearing. You know that I have to judge you. You're right. You're right. I can't let emotion get the better of me. I find myself torn. Though I still believe wholeheartedly in Protectorate law, you and I have certainly encountered other dubious situations. You taught me to judge based on merits. Together, we spared some and executed others. But what I have learned with you shall be most difficult to apply here. Virgil is my sworn brother, and he acted under duress. But killing the Supreme Arbiter is unforgivable. Yes, but it is beyond the jurisdiction of even those such as us to mete out such a judgment. It should have been elevated to higher channels.
And how would the Consul have reacted to an official accusation of treason by an inferior, no less? You know they care not for evidence.
But the Supreme Arbiter herself taught us exactly that. That evidence proves the crime. Surely she wouldn't have been so hypocritical as to deny that?
People change when faced with their own death. I would expect you'd learned that by now.
Except that Arbiter's problem was one of intent, not action. I do see some semblance, however. But even if that is the case, there is no room for interpretation here. Sparing Virgil would directly reject all I've been taught to uphold. Any other Arbiter would. But then again, I was not trained as just any Arbiter. The law is clear on this. It is explicitly illegal for an inferior to execute their superior. The issue must be accelerated to a higher authority. But is addressing traitorism not the utmost priority of any Arbiter? Is not the betrayal of everything we stand for more significant than a breach of protocol? I wish to argue with you. With myself, with Virgil, with the Supreme Arbiter. This madness should never have come to pass. But it has. And I must contend with that. I cannot bring myself to execute my sworn brother. I fear it may be too late for that. I have made my decision, and I shall stand by it. No matter how torn I may be. I know not what to make of the Supreme Arbiter's betrayal. I'll have to ruminate on it for some time. But that aside, I forgive you, Virgil. You are spared.
Wise choice. You'll sleep better tonight, I swear. And every other, forevermore.
Would that I could forgive myself. I shall have to live with what I have done in the name of the Protectorate. Defection is madness. But perhaps I'll have no choice with the Consul after me. I must make myself scarce while I decide what to do next.
Virgil, you should take comfort in doing what was right. The Supreme Arbiter was a traitor. I believe her execution was just. And you should as well.
Just in the eyes of the Protectorate. But we've forever lost our mentor, our friend. And, I might add, if the Protectorate had its way, you or I would presently lie dead as well. How can I see the morality in a system that demands brothers, guardians, friends kill one another in its name?
Stop! This is already near too much to accept. I refuse to be browbeaten on top of everything else. Allow me to reach my own conclusions.
1,000 words of thanks for meeting me here, Tristan. I know not what the future holds for us, but for the time being I must make myself scarce. Though, before I go, a parting gift. May Tristan make use of it better than I.
Go with the Sovereign's blessing, brother. And be careful. If you survive today only to be brought low by an agent of the Consul at a later point, I shall be most annoyed. Commander, this has all been draining. I need time to process what we've learned today. What I've done. Later, I hope we might discuss it. Commander, I've had some time to process what transpired with Virgil. Despite the manner of what Virgil has done, I cannot help but be glad I did not need to slay him. I can only hope he does not run afoul of further Sentinels. But allowing him to live was betraying the Protectorate, wasn't it? I find myself more torn than ever before, and yet it does not feel like a misdeed. You're right. Virgil was trapped between Protectorate laws, and only leniency could free him. But the fact that such a circumstance could happen at all. Having good intentions does not spare you. Doing what you think is right does not spare you. This cannot be justice. Yet what can I do? More than 100 years of Protectorate society cannot be changed by a lone body. Can it? No. That is a step too far. Despite its flaws, I still believe in the Protectorate, if only the central idea behind its founding. On any other day, your assertion would be an offense meriting extreme recompense. But for now, I will refuse to entertain it. Once Arcadia is no longer bathed in fire and blood, I will look upon this path again to see if it is tenable, which I have no doubt it shall be. I shall remain with the Protectorate, interpreting its laws through a moral instead of a punitive lens. Innocent until proven guilty is a novel concept, but it is worth a try. Words are not worth the air propelling them. Let me make good on them first. Then you may be impressed. When we began traveling together, I was not sure what to make of you. But your input throughout our time together has been invaluable. I deeply appreciate your hand in this investigation, Commander, and in entertaining my incertitude. Let us move forth to free Arcadia from injustice.